My name is Brittany Leonard. A year ago, on August 15th, 2009, my life changed. I was 13 years old. This is my story.
It started out as a normal day. We went to Lifeway Christian Bookstore. She found a t-shirt that she really wanted, asked me if I'd buy it.
Her and the girls had been to town, normal day. I was cutting hay, and they came by to see me. They brought me some lunch, and I went over, I left the field, met them at the road, and I talked to them a little bit, seen Brittany, she was fine.
We got home, we was listening to the new CD that we got. 5 minutes passed, and my niece and my youngest daughter walked into the living room and found her non-responsive. She was foaming at the mouth.
Less than an hour later, I get a phone call, a very disturbing phone call. I couldn't understand what they were saying. I thought it was the kids just pranking their dad, they had done it before.
I called her name, nothing. I picked her up and I snapped her, calling her name, nothing. Finally, I just snapped her real hard and called her name, and it's like a light flashed in her eyes, and she heard me, but she didn't know where I was at. She later told me in the hospital that she heard me because she asked me if I was mad at her. She said that she remembered me yelling for her and she couldn't find me. It was dark.
By the time I'd gotten out of the field, I got a phone call from Rutherford County EMS, said they were in pursuit to my house, that my oldest daughter, she was non-responsive.
For some reason, I opened up the front door to watch for the ambulance, and my mom started coming up the driveway, and then my dad started coming up the driveway, and then Scotty was coming up the driveway, and then Scotty's parents was coming up the driveway, and I couldn't understand why that God had wanted all of these people to see what was happening when we were expecting none of them to be at the house.
And I run in the house, and I find my oldest daughter laying in the kitchen floor. My wife's over, and she's sitting there like a baby, just folded up. The doctors take her in. They do spinal taps, draw blood, everything they know to do. Less than 40 minutes, the doctor that was seeing over come to us. She said, "We don't know what's wrong with your daughter. Y'all need to pray, and we're sending her to Children's."
Every time we asked them for any kind of explanation, the answer was the same: we don't know. We don't know. There's no explanation. We don't know.
All we want to know is what's wrong with her, and is she going to be okay? And for a long time, all we could get was, don't nobody know.
Immediately, she was on life support because she wasn't breathing, non-responsive, and the doctors were telling me all night long that she may not never wake up, she may never walk again, she may never live a normal life again. They just didn't know. She could wake up and be totally fine. They just didn't know. Told the doctors that we wanted to be with her at 10 o'clock because we knew that the church would be praying for her, and we knew, that the Lord was going to move on her. We just knew it. The test that was supposed to be at 8 o'clock actually got put off until 9. They had said that they ended up having to give her some medicine to make her sleep because for some reason she started wiggling all over the bed. About 10:30, my cousins Shannon and Chris, they came down with prayer cloths, and they was actually telling us that the church had decided to pray for Brittany at 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. And so when Brittany was having her test done and she was all wiggly on the table is when the church was praying for her. It was a long journey because that week she was set back to a childlike state of mind. She was confused on people and situations, didn't know letters from numbers, but each day improved. And on Friday, they wanted to send her home. And I had told them I just didn't feel right yet, I asked them to keep her another day. And they said, okay, we'll keep her one more day. And they told her that she was okay to go down to the cafeteria.
We got an elevator, and they went down like one floor, and as soon as the door opened, her little head flew back. She had no seizure.
That one affected her differently. It about paralyzed her on her left side, and she couldn't walk. She's had to relearn to walk again. She was finally released to Stallworth Vanderbilt Rehabilitation Center, where she spent 2 weeks exercising and getting back control of her muscles and her body, and visiting and making friends in the nursing home.
I really didn't understand at the time what all had happened and what all I'd been through. But, I mean, I know it happened for a reason, and I know that God was with me the whole time. They told me that I probably wouldn't graduate the 8th grade or be able to ever play any sports, but I got to go back and I got to play a little bit, not too much, but a little bit in basketball games, and I graduated, and I'm now a freshman taking honors classes. Our God is an amazing God.